this spot for Otto. He's keeping his options available, can go into underpass, but also systematically get a bit more aggressive on the out. Otto in a very forward position though. I don't think you want to push an AWP around the back though. That would be lunacy for me.
Yeah, that's too much, but I love the fact that he's here. Alexi with the perfect peek to get the information. And wait a minute, the headshot on Electronic, who you'd think maybe had an advantage, the fact that he had to jump up there, Alexi, but Electronic was not quick enough this time. A minute on the clock, and they've got already 3 people on the bomb side itself, and kind of a 4th man in Yuho, who's near enough by to help out, so this is a very constricted setup for BC Game. Unless they get a cracking opening onto this A bomb side, there's no chance. Look at the push up for Alexi. I'm liking this guy more and more. He's pushed in. Expecting that, so if they can live another 3 seconds on the bomb side here, I think he's going to be able to shoot them right at the back. But Simcinio getting that opening that we're talking about, but again, the flank coming in from the right, even as we speak.
Uli just needs to stay alive. He's trying to put as much pressure and presence as possible to allow this to happen. Oh, beautiful, exquisite flick from Alexi to the head of Simcinio. And now suddenly Sensi finds himself surrounded by CTs. One CT spawn, didn't quite nail the shot. And Alexi comes back once again, leaving Mages with it all to do.
Oh, this guy's got something. He's really thinking about this a lot. He gets the last one as well for the ace. He is absolutely crushed. BC Game, what a career highlight for him at the moment. That is spectacular.
It's not just the movement, it's also the fact that he was so fast. It's not this goal, it's the next one.
Yeah.
Christ.
And you know, the whole reason MCNeo was playing in that sandwich position is because he's looking callous for where Alexi was jumping up to, right? So they knew that he was on the side. They just never expected that he'd walk around. That's how hard he kind of sold the movement there. So just overall great individual thinking and obviously the mechanics to match it. My God, this is a real revelation. We've only seen him play a couple of games now, but yeah, I'm definitely sold on Alexi at the moment. More of that, please. It does put a giant hole in the economy for the BC Game side. Now it's 8-11. And we've got pistols being brought back out again. So this is a tricky position to be in. Again, have a massive test here, right? If you lose these kind of rounds, then I don't think you can win the game. So they've got to stay strong in this one.
Great nade. Utility's been on point, man. And I do agree, but I think it's a very different ball game now to what we saw in the first half at 2-2. They were still a little bit kind of like antsy, a little bit pensive. Understandably, the pressure was on you playing against some of the big names in Counter-Strike. And now the confidence is definitely swelled to a fever pitch after Alexi's ace. It doesn't stop BC Game from...
as well as they can. He knows where at least one of them is. Electronic's still a bit of a mystery. Good hunt down, but the on top is slowing him down. He's got a bit of a flash. Trying to get the defuse. It's not going to work. Electronic catches the 2 in rotation and finishes up around with the kill on Uli.
It's a great effort from Uli, but that double Tech-9 spray in Con was the difference maker. This is where the round just fell into pieces on the ground, and any hope of a comeback maybe dashed with it against the rocks. Try as he may, the Molotov was perfectly placed, forced him into a desperate defuse. Electronic on 20 kills now will not be missing that free frag. 4 chances, 4 opportunities for BC Game to essentially secure their spot in the playoffs, because this would be them up on 2 wins, 0 losses in Group B.
Yeah, this is looking really good, and nice individual moves there for Electronic as well. I think for Havu, I mean, it's hard to blame them. It's unlikely with just pistols that someone would be controlling the connector at that point in time, so I can't really blame them too much for overlooking it. But yeah, that was a fatal error, you could say. Smokes in the middle, like we're used to seeing, and suddenly BC Game up to a 12-8 lead. Just one more round. and they'll find their way there. At least for Havu, they've got some money to work with. Again, they're going to put the AWP not on Otto this time, but on Peko instead, and he'll take down Mcinio. So that's interesting. Double AWP, and the surprise factor is enough to get the early kill.
Yeah, surprisingly, Mcinio is kind of rock bottom of the scoreboard right now on BC Game. Typically a guy you look at to do quite a bit of heavy lifting, especially on maps like Mirage. Otto misses out on that second chance, but he won't mind as he lives back in Con without too many issues. So the pressure again for BC Game has like been pretty firmly applied to them, and they have no control anywhere on the map. Like typically on these extremity kind of peaks, it allows you to be reactive. You know, if you get a 1-for-1 trade, you get a pick, you can then exploit that as fast as possible, but you're all clumped together, so you're all in on this B hit.
There is an AWP in the market. Let's see if they can actually get across here without losing anybody. Electronic trying to make the jump, but as a result, he's right in the crosshair of Yuho. Still can't get the kill, though. And they've burned out Uli in the back. Even though he got the kill on Electronic there, he's going to have to give his life for it. Nice flick, but it's Simple still alive, at least for one more second. That's Peko. Secondary AWPing, but actually making it work. But regardless, it is the bomb planted. And given where they were, BC Game, I think this is a good trade for them. 2v3 now. And now slowly ticking away. Double AWP on the retake. It's always uncomfortable, but not for Peko. My God, he's hit another shot. Swings wide with a USP, and he takes down Magisk. That's one hell of a retake. Peko individually winning this round for his team with a quad kill.
That's an obscene round. Maybe give him the AWP more often, lads. Like, clearly he can use it. That's 2 or 3 blinder shots. Like, he wounds the, I think it's Simple on top of the van with an insane vertical flick, and then comes around the corner and lands it again after that opening pick. It's this one, after this kill, he lands the shot onto Simple and finishes him off. USP insta headshot as well. That is a sublime round. And not really much that BC Game could do about it. You could maybe argue that utility wasn't quite on point, but you can't fault Peko's aim.
That was really, really nice. Back to Otto with the AWP, and that even makes sense to me as well. Havu looking to see if they get this one into OT. Alexi in a very strange position, but nobody was really checking it either. There's Otto with the connection. The 2-for-1 trade to begin with, and they're still attacking the bomb site, but Electronic goes down. He's been the main man for BC Game so far. Not going to be a factor in this round any longer. Galil left here, and also the AWP of Simple. We'll see if those two players can find a way to connect the dots, but Havu should be, again, slowing this down. You don't really have to worry about the bomb plant. You just got to make sure that they don't somehow clutch this 2v4.
Barrel has been spotted, but it's all the onus is on Simple to make moves. It's a hell of a shot, and Mcinio does safeguard him. Deals with the staircase player of Uli. 2-play-2, 50 seconds left. Going to try and force the plant down. Simple lands another one.
Nearly had him through the smoke as well. Otto now pushing on top of it. Mcinio's dead. Oh, it's a 1v1 here. AWP versus Sorp. The Deagles come out as well. And there's still no bomb plant here. Otto swings for it. He can't believe he's almost got him. Down to the last 2 bullets of this AWP. And the no-scope not going to connect. It's Simple instead with the clutch for his team. And BC Game will pick it up. My God, what a fiery finish.
Man, Mcinio may have had a slow start to the game, but in that 2v4, he was clutch. Yes, Simple landed the highlight flicks, but it was Mcinio's groundwork of keeping his star AWPer alive that allowed them to get across the line. And I have to say, Havu, commiserations, you've lost the game, but I think they can hold their heads high, man. They made BC Game sweat in this match.
I definitely agree. A couple of rounds that made a huge difference. I think Havu should definitely be proud. Like they put them to the test, and that's ultimately what we want to see here. Great individuals showing. Again, I think Alexi just showing so many great signs of being like not just a strong aimer, which he definitely appears to be, but you can just tell that he's thinking at a really high level. So he's going to be someone I'm going to be looking for. I'll add him to the list with Swaz and with Mick1. For some of the Finnish players that were kind of, and I guess Georgian player as well, that we're sort of learning about throughout the tournament. But it's another victory for BC Game, and that is good news. But they were tested more, and ultimately that's what we're looking for here. So that's pretty good. We've got more Counter-Strike coming up for you guys. Of course, we're not done yet. The day will continue with rounds up against Trainwrecks a little bit later on. It's a slightly extended break this time, so you can go get something to drink and all the rest of it. We will be catching up with BC Game, I think, later in the day. They're also going to be playing Trainwrecks, but that's in a couple of hours from now. So, yeah, get something to drink, get rehydrated, and get a snack or two, and we'll return with more Counter-Strike here at Elisa. So we'll see you then.
When you're playing at the highest level, you can't guess. The shape, the speed, the precision, all of it has to feel right. When you're playing for everything, your gear has to be perfect. Built with pros, made for esports.
Pizza Rustica. Great to share. Too tasty to do it fair.
V vuotaa taas.
Ei muuta voida enää.
Vilpe Sense katolla ja pystyt keskittymään olennaiseen.
Football is a privilege, but man, music connects me to my roots.
It connects us, our memories, our friendships, it feeds the moments.
I wake up and I need music, a beat, a rhythm.
It fuels me on and off the pitch.
To be who I'm meant to be.
Own your sound.